What's going on? My name is Bryan and welcome to my channel. In my channel I post a lot of DIY projects related to the hobby and fish keeping in general. If you like what I'm doing, hit that subscribe button and stay tuned. So for this video I'm going to talk about why I haven't added any predator fish to my predator tank. So this is my Payara tataunia, or everyone just calls it Payara tat. It's also known as the vampire tetra. It gets this name from the two fangs that's hanging out at the front of its mouth, along with the rest of his jaw being filled with serrated teeth. It is a very aggressive looking fish, and the way he looks reflects on how he acts. He is definitely not the nicest fish in my tank, and this is actually the reason why I haven't added any predator fish into this aquarium. So choosing tank mates for this guy is very difficult. You have to make sure that the fish that's added in is tough enough to withstand the blows of the Payara, but at the same time not too tough to eat the Payara. Either the fish that I find are too small or they're way too big. So that's why adding fish into this aquarium for me is very difficult, just because I need to make sure I have the right one. So as you can already see on the bottom left side of your screen, that's the glimpse of the new fish that I added into this tank. When I first saw this fish at the local fish store, it was kind of a spontaneous buy. I did a little bit of research on it and I knew exactly what it was. But I definitely did not buy this fish for the reasons that most people would buy predatory fish for. Some people buy predatory fish like Payara for their protruding teeth and their aggressive looking nature. But this is definitely not the reason why I picked up this fish. When I saw this fish at the local fish store, it gave me a look. Like, it gave me a really sad look. And it made me want to buy him. So that's why I picked him up. Actually, he's doing it right now. Look at this fish. Doesn't it look like it's sad all the time? Like it looks like a sad smiley face. Like, it has that pout. Like, it looks so sad. So whenever I do fish shopping or gotta research fish on the fly or get new fish, I always rely on this website. It's called Seriously Fish. They have a fish profile for basically any species that's out there. So I went ahead and pulled some information on this fish through this website. Just because the local fish store didn't really have too much information on the fish, they just knew how big it gets and what it eats. So this fish is called a climbing perch. It's also known as the climbing gourami. The fish's max size is rated around 8 to 10 inches or so. I've read that this fish doesn't do too well with tank mates that can fit into his mouth, because whatever fish that gets into his mouth, he'll definitely try to eat it. Perfect substrate for this fish is like soft sand. That's pretty much what I got in this tank, so he's gonna do fine. The water temperature for this fish is around 80 degrees Fahrenheit. pH for this fish is around 5.5 to 8. So since this fish is a predatory fish, it's a carnivore and it eats meat. So it eats little fish, invertebrates, little things like that. But through my experience having this fish in quarantine, it pretty much eats anything, any kind of pellets, any kind of fish meat, any kind of frozen fresh foods. It eats anything. Although this website says that this fish is a very aggressive fish, when I had it in quarantine and I had some other fish in quarantine, it didn't pick on him at all. It just kind of mind his own business, and all it does is kind of lay on the ground. I have high hopes for this fish, and let's basically pan back to the aquarium and show you guys what's going on. So as you can see here, this is when I first added the fish into the aquarium. It was a very subtle drop. I definitely didn't want to use a net because this fish has a self-defense mechanism where it flares its gills out, and along the whole side of the gills it has spines. The reason why these spines are along the gill plates of this fish is because in the wild, when a bird tries to eat this fish or this type of fish, it'll push out all those spines when a bird has it in its throat, basically preventing the bird from swallowing the fish. Kind of messed up, but the bird will definitely choke to death, and then the fish will somehow wiggle away or whatever. But that's the reason why they have those spines, so other predators can't eat this fish. This fish is very rugged. I've heard in the wild that this fish can walk on land. Definitely don't want to try that out. I don't want to stress the fish out. But this is what the local fish store told me when I picked this up. So I'll just take their word for it. And I did watch a lot of YouTube videos on this, and there are some videos of these fish flopping around on the ground. It doesn't really look like they're walking, but they're pretty much on the move. So as you can see here, I put the fish into the aquarium and it slowly sinks to the bottom. It doesn't go anywhere else but stays here. Actually, while I'm talking to you guys right now, the fish is still in the same spot. The only bad part is this spot is pretty much held up by my Payara. My Payara claimed this spot and this is his territory, and this triggers some bad activity. I say for about 30 minutes straight, the pyra keeps picking on this fish, attacking him, pushing him around, but there's a specific reason why I chose this fish to join this group. It can withstand blows, it can withstand attacks, and this fish definitely has some thick skin. And from my experience of having this fish in this tank with the pyra, this is the only fish that didn't run away when it came to the pyra trying to claim back his territory. I'm watching them right now, and the pyra and the anabas is still in the same spot, still doing the same thing. And if anything, I think the pyra is more stressed than the anabas is. He's just so dopey, he just doesn't really care. Other fish would like swim away, not mess with the pyra or whatever, but this guy's just sitting there, which is pretty badass. To me, this is a very unique fish. I've seen this fish on like Predatory Fins' YouTube channel, and I've seen some other people try to keep it. But when you look at this fish on YouTube, you'll see a lot of people eating it because this is a staple food for people in Asia. They don't really keep them as pets. So that's it for this video. I just wanted to post a little update on me adding this fish into this water system. So whenever I'm feeding or whatnot, you won't see a random fish that pops up out of nowhere. I'd like to thank you guys for watching. Stay tuned for the next one, and peace, guys.